to leave my life behind. The story's told with facts and lies. You own the world, so
I like Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley, in my eyes, at this point in time in his career, should be a pound-for-pound champion of the world. We know that his only loss is to Manny Pacquiao, and that's a good name to lose to. It's always been a super fight that I've wanted to see, a Floyd Mayweather versus a Timothy Bradley, because Timothy Bradley, when he boxes, when he decides to stick to what he's good at, he's really good. Now, fighting Brandon Rios is a very, very dangerous fight for Timothy Bradley. Why? Is because if Jessie Vargas was able to do what he did, and Jessie Vargas is considered a light punching fighter and a smaller fighter than Timothy Bradley weight-wise, if Jessie Vargas was to do what he did in that final round against Timothy Bradley, and Timothy Bradley had struggles against Ruslan Provodnikov, I ask you this, is Brandon Rios better than a Ruslan Provodnikov? I'm going to say, yeah. By the way, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. This weekend, Timothy Bradley is going to be taking on Brandon Rios for the WBO 147-pound championship of the world. And it's a very big fight. But the issue I have is, no matter who wins or loses, there's only a few options out there for the winner. Now, of course, I know we can't look past this fight. Let's talk about who I have winning. Depending on what Timothy Bradley shows up. Now, Timothy Bradley is with Teddy Atlas now. Teddy Atlas, ESPN commentator, well-known, eccentric commentator, trainer. I'm trying to figure out, like, what can he do for Timothy Bradley? Because Joel Diaz, in my opinion, was a very good trainer for Timothy Bradley. It's just that Timothy Bradley didn't do what Joel Diaz said. Now, if you don't know, it's rumored that one of the major reasons why Joel Diaz is not around anymore is because Timothy Bradley's wife made the decision to go to Tim and be like, hey, babe, I don't like him. You know how women can be, and he probably, Timothy Bradley's the type of guy who seems as though he's going to do whatever his wife tells him to do, because after all, his wife is managing his career. I have no issues with that. I'm just saying, I believe she's the reason why he's with Top Rank Boxing with that extension with Bob Behrman. I believe that she is actually pulling the strings of Timothy Bradley's career. Now, what is Teddy Atlas going to do? I don't know, because every time Timothy Bradley got himself in trouble, it was because he didn't box the fight he's supposed to fight. When he got that draw against Diego Chaves, instead of boxing, he tried to bully Diego Chaves, a very savvy. A lot of people don't like Diego Chaves, but I like him as a fighter because he's a very savvy fighter that can win if you allow him to get into his comfort zone. Timothy Bradley fought Diego Chaves' fight. Timothy Bradley also got rocked by Jessie Vargas at the end of the fight because Timothy Bradley wanted to be that warrior. And there's nothing wrong with Timothy Bradley being a warrior, but he's a boxer. He should be focusing on hitting and not getting hit. Timothy Bradley, when he fought Juan Manuel Marquez, put on a masterful performance. I'm talking about from foot movement, from punch variety, from hand speed, everything. And we know he has the ability to do so, but yet he likes to, get macho and try to prove that he can take a punch. And what we've seen is when he gets rocked, his eyes go, his legs go. But something about Timothy Bradley is he always stays on his feet and he always gets up. But it's like he puts himself in those positions. And I'm thinking, Brandon Rios looked very good in his last fight, even though it was a long time ago, his last fight against Mike Alvarado. We know Mike Alvarado, yes, was having some issues, whatever, outside of the ring, whatever the case may have been. But Brandon Rios looked very sharp. And I'm thinking to myself, can a Brandon Rios at the point that he's in his time in his career, where it's like, where does he go from here if he loses? Can a Brandon Rios outwork or out hustle with Timothy Bradley? Now, Timothy Bradley is going to have to use all his foot movement, because I don't think this Brandon Rios is going to come out there and just get beat up like he did against Manny Pacquiao. And one thing about Brandon Rios is he hasn't really shown it too much in the past, but he does have a pretty good jab, and he's not going to just be sitting there stationary for Timothy Bradley to get hit. So the question I ask for you, I'm not saying he's going to fight the same fight. I'm just saying that is Brandon Rios better than a Ruslan Provodnikov? Brandon Rios is a different type of fighter than a Jessie Vargas, but he's better than a Jessie Vargas. So I'm just saying Brandon Rios has a puncher's chance, and I wouldn't be surprised if Timothy Bradley gets knocked down a couple of times if Timothy Bradley is going out there, and he has shown us that, put it this way, I don't know if he's going to listen to Teddy Atlas. I don't know if he's going to box and move. I really think we don't know what Timothy Bradley is going to show up. But if you don't know, he's the WBO champion of the world. Really, Floyd Mayweather's supposed to be the WBO champion of the world at 147 pounds. But Timothy Bradley is. Who would I like to see the winner fight? Of course, I would like to see the winner fight go right after Kell Brook. I would love to see Timothy Bradley versus a Floyd Mayweather, but it's not going to happen. If Brandon Rios wins, then this is going to be the biggest win of Brandon Rios' career, and it's going to give him a boost as far as marketability, because he's the pressure fighter, power puncher that fans tend to gravitate towards. And also, Brandon Rios has never been in a corny fight. He's never been in a boring fight. Simple as that. I'm going to be here covering the fight live, of course. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.